snoring when you've eaten too much of cook's rabbit stew at night. I am going to walk away now, and I want you to come with me. Do you understand, George?" George cocked his head at me, then turned to the man who had come down on his knees beside me, his damned eyes all fluid and adoring. The man said as he tried for a disarming shrug, "Try not to be upset. You see, animals adore me. I was born with this gift, a sort of power, if you will. If I'm not careful, when I merely go for a walk on Bond Street, all the frivolous little dogs the grand ladies are carrying about leap from their arms and chase after me. Dogs all over Piccadilly hunt me down. I try to ignore them. I always return them to their owners, but it just doesn't stop. What am I to do?" Humour, I thought. Something that hadn't been in my life for more weeks than I could now easily remember hit me between the eyes. I smiled, unable not to. He smiled back at me, a beautiful white-toothed smile, took my hand and helped me to my feet. He was big, too big and too tall. Most of all, he was too young. He wasn't just there, he overwhelmed. Immediately, I took a step back, then another. "George," I said, growing more uncomfortable by the minute, "it's time to see what Mrs. Dooley has made for our lunch. You know that on Tuesdays she does something very special with bacon for you. Yes, bacon, fried down to its core, cooked so stiff you can bang it on the floor several times before it crumbles. Come along now. You will ignore this gentleman. He may be nice to you here, where there's an audience who can see how talented he is with you, but he doesn't want you to catch his coattails in your teeth and pursue him home. Come along." I turned then and walked away, praying that George wouldn't stay with the man, wagging his tail and cocking his very homely large head in that cute way he had, his ears at half-mast that clearly said, "Do you really think she has bacon for my dinner?"
"Wait," the man called coming after me, his hand raised. "I don't know who you are."
But I didn't wait. I didn't want him to know my name. Besides, why would he care? Didn't he see what I was wearing deep mourning? Didn't he know that being 3 feet away from him was too close? I even quickened my step. He was big and tall, and he was too young, too strong. No, I thought, he couldn't do anything here, in the middle of the park, with all these people about. I merely shook my head, but didn't turn around. I nearly shouted with relief when I looked down to see George trotting beside me, his tongue lolling, carrying that branch in his mouth, his top knot flopping up and down. I did turn once I reached the corner. The man wasn't there. Well, what did I expect? But he would unfold a pair of wings and fly after me, snatch up both me and George and haul us off to a derelict old castle. No, he wasn't a monster. He wasn't bent on no good. But he was a man, I thought, too young and too sure of himself. He was capable of things I couldn't bear to think about. But he'd made me laugh. Imagine. We went home, George to eat not bacon but rabbit stew for dinner and snore all night, and I to read some soul-wrenching poetry by Coleridge, "The death fires danced at night," and wonder if he had written that line inside a cloud of opium. I forgot the man. The second time I saw him, I didn't know who he was then either. I was still swathed in black, and this time I even wore a black veil that half-covered my face. When I came out of Holcomb's bookshop, he was just standing there holding an open umbrella, for it had begun to drizzle. He wore a smile on his tanned face, aimed at me. I stopped in my tracks. I wanted to ask him what in heaven's name he was doing here, beaming that brilliant smile at me, but what came out of my mouth was, "How can you be so tanned when there hasn't been a hint of sun in over 2 days?" The smile smoothed out, but it was still there, lurking, waiting to become a laugh. I knew it.
"At least this time you've looked at my face, something you refused to do that first day we met in the park. I have some Spanish blood in me, something my father abhorred, but he fell in love with my mother, Isabella Maria, you see, and so I was born. I wonder what he would think of me now, so unlike a pure-blooded Englishman, all pale and pink-cheeked, were he still alive."
"Well, that does explain it," I said, nodded to him and added, "Good day," and walked away. I wasn't really surprised when the rain suddenly came down thick and hard, because after all it was England. What I hadn't